The noise woke Max up. He rushed to Goofy's room to see what was going on. "Stay back, son," Goofy warned. "Don't hurt him, Dad," Max cried. "He's my pet." "Your what?" yelled Goofy. Max quickly told his father the whole story about Bubbles. Then he begged to keep him. "But he's some kind of dinosaur, son," said Goofy. "He belongs in a museum or in a zoo." "I'll take good care of him," Max pleaded. "I promise." Finally Goofy gave in. "Aw, shucks, you can keep him as long as he stays out of trouble," he said, "and doesn't get too big." Max beamed. "No problem," he said happily. "I mean, how big can he get?" In no time at all, Bubbles grew very big. He loved food, especially marshmallows. Finally, Goofy had had enough. "He's eaten 1,000 bags of marshmallows, 400 cabbages, 10 houseplants, and the remote control," Goofy said with a grin. Goofy said with a groan. "Sorry, son, but we just can't keep him anymore. And it's not fair to keep Bubbles cooped up in the house like this anyway." Max knew his dad was right. "Okay," he said sadly. "I'll take him back to Fossil Lake tomorrow." Late that night, while Max and Goofy were sleeping, Bubbles woke up and wandered outside. He was hungry. He found a tasty shrub in PJ's front yard. Munch, munch, munch. Bubbles chewed so loudly that Pete woke up. Pete was PJ's dad. "Who's out there?" Pete shouted from the bedroom window. Max and Goofy heard the noise too. They ran outside and saw Pete chasing Bubbles with a broom. PJ was up and chasing his father. Max was scared. "Dad, we gotta save Bubbles," he cried. Goofy had an idea. He and Max jumped into their old jalopy and took off. Goofy headed straight for Fossil Lake. "But Dad," Max shouted, "they went the other way." "Don't worry," said Goofy, and he zoomed on down the road. Meanwhile, Bubbles ran until he was trapped in a dead-end alley. "Gotcha," Pete growled. "You miserable monster." "Don't hurt him," PJ begged. "He's just a baby." Suddenly they heard a terrifying roar behind them. It was a dinosaur as big as a house, with Goofy and Max on top. "Bubbles, meet your mama," said Max with a grin. The giant dinosaur lowered her head and nuzzled Bubbles on the cheek. "Where did you find her?" asked PJ. "I figured if there was an egg at the lake, there had to be a mama somewhere," Goofy said proudly. Pete looked dazed. 2 dinosaurs in one night were too much for him. "I'd better get Dad home," said PJ as he led Pete away. Later, Max and Goofy watched as the 2 dinosaurs swam off into the lake together. "Max, you took good care of Bubbles," said Goofy. "I'm proud of you. It's time we get you a real pet." "Great," said Max. "How about a boa constrictor? Maybe a tarantula?" "A tarantula!" Goofy choked. "Now just a gosh darn minute, son."